Hello there, dear listeners! This episode, Bigger Barrel teamed up with Insert Coin Clothing. To celebrate their 5th birthday, Insert Coin Clothing have created an awesome anniversary tee with £5 of each sale in July going to Special Effects, who are an amazing charity.
They also have 5 new ranges coming out, which are available to pre-order now.
Ooh, says the mysterious mystical voice. Which games are coming out next?
Well, a mysterious voice. There's Wipeout, Lemmings, Monster Hunter, The Order 1886, and even Hello Kitty.
Wipeout!
But that's not all. If you love Wipeout, you might want to listen to this. They've also given us a 20% off voucher for all our lovely listeners. That includes you, mysterious voice.
Yay!
Yep. So, if you want to get that 20%, all you have to do is use the code IC4BRB20 and you're gonna get discount on the item that you want to get, as long as that item is not a charity item, a bundle, or is used with a voucher.
I think that's fair enough, because if you're going to buy a charity item, you want all that money going to charity. I think that's fair.
You do.
You don't want to skip on donating to a good cause.
It's kind of a dick move if you do. So, check out insertcoinclothing.com and show off your fandom with pride.
Thanks.
Hello and welcome to episode 13 of BRB Geek Speak. I am your host Lauren, and as always, I've got with me the amorous Auntie Alex, Baroness of Butts.
Yay, and all the butts, thank you.
And unfortunately, once again, we are down a Monica because she is again being adulting and trying to fight those folks for an internet connection. So we have the sultry and seductive Steve.
Oh. Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining us. So we got a few different things to talk about this week. First thing we're going to start talking about. I have no idea about this.
Well, can we first talk about who Steve is and what he does?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not just a random Steve from the internet. It's more of a, Steve that does this wonderful things and that wonderful things.
Keep going like that, you'll make me blush.
My apologies. This is the first time we've had a guest. Well, this is only our second guest, and it's the first one not from Big Red Barrel. So, Steve, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do, where you come from?
Okay.
Where'd you go?
Where do I go apart from loading, I guess? So,
where you come from, where you
I come
go?
from? Well, as you probably guess, I come from the lovely northern lands of Scotland. My name is Stephen. I write for a website called GGS Gamer, make some videos on there. My biggest loves are games like Final Fantasy and Mass Effect, do like a bit of anime and things like that as well. By day, I'm an engineer. By night, it's all about the video games.
And Steve is very, very helpful, especially in events. He's the one that allowed me to borrow his equipment to interview Tim Schafer and the guys from Shadow of Mordor, which was very, very nice of him.
Pleasure.
During the BAFTAs a little while ago. So we liked a bit of Steve. He's very good to us.
Yep, I stood behind Steve while actually him and Dave were interviewing Mike Lidlow, so I managed to squeeze in there with their help.
Yeah, that's Irregular Day from GGS Gamer as well. She meant that.
What she didn't mention was she fangirled so hard afterwards.
Hey!
Oh, yeah. She was fangirling all day with the idea of being in the same area as him, and then as soon as you said that she could actually speak to him or be near him, oh my god, the walls came down and she fangirled hard.
Damn right she did.
And she wouldn't shut up about it the next day.
Yeah. Wait till I actually meet someone, I don't know, more famous.
Like who?
Like Steve.
Yeah, like Steve. If I meet Steve in real life, I'm not gonna shut up at all.
It's not like you see him most Tuesdays.
No, I don't.
Loading bar.
Here we go with the pug.
Tabletop pug. Yeah. So, our first item is linked to our tabletop pug, and it is Dice Masters Age of Ultron. Admittedly, I have no idea about this game, but you guys do. So tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so if you remember a while ago, we had one of our listeners ask us a question about two-player board games.
Yeah,
and that's when I have very briefly just remembered to mention Dice Masters. And it's actually a game that my household has been going crazy about for a very, very, very long time. And it has many, many alterations. So we started, I think, with our first set of Dice Masters was Avengers vs. X-Men. What it is, it's a bit of a mixture of a collectible card and dice game, but it's also slightly similar to what deck builders are, but instead of building your deck of cards, you're building your dice and putting them in the bag. So, I'm gonna quickly explain the rules because I've talked about this before, but I haven't actually properly explained what it was. So, you have two people battling against each other. You both have a superhero team of the heroes that you have chosen. Every hero has about 3-4 card alterations with, different cards cost different amounts of energy to buy, and also, different cards have different powers, so teams build up of various different heroes depending on the needs and of the style of that hero, of that person when they play it. And then they battle each other using dice. Everyone starts with the same, exactly the same dice. And then they roll and decide which dice to use for attack and defense, and which dice use to buy your better character dice. And that continues until someone is KO'd. And that's pretty much the game.
So what's special about this version?
It's has new cards, new abilities. I think it's actually quite cool. There are quite a few new characters, so there's some old ones. For example, they brought back people like Loki and Iron Man. They brought back Thor, but now he's a girl, so that was interesting.
Well, that was a big change within the comic book, so makes sense.
And it's actually a really cool card. It's a really cool card. I really like it, Thor. Captain America is the same. I mean, it's the same character, but a different card, and I'm a big fan of Cap for some reason. I don't know why. I always liked his cards. And then you also get Phil Coulson, you get the guys from Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's basically different cards, more characters, more powers, more of the, all the goody things.
And the dice are pretty.
The dice are really pretty. But I mean, we have a couple of sets at home, but you, Steve, played it for the first time, yeah?
Yeah, I think, your description of it, Matt, is perfect. I kind of summarized it when I wrote a preview about it. It was kind of like Yahtzee meets Pokemon, in a way.
Ooh.
That's kind of how I would describe it.
I've never played Yahtzee, but I do like a bit of Pokemons, if any of our listeners haven't guessed already.
The Yahtzee comparison is just because of the dice. It's pretty much that.
Okay.
But yeah, at the event that myself and Alex went to, I had a few games against Alex, and there was a lot to take in, I found, but once you got the hang of it, got the idea of the turn structure, there was so much strategy behind it. So much strategy behind it. Trying to figure out, how, try to think several moves ahead on what to do. But no, I did it right. I think, what was it? I beat you once, Alex, and I think you beat me once.
Yeah.
So it was a fair trade.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I gotta mention we also were at the preview event, so we saw it before anyone else has seen it, and it did happen in Loading Bar, and it happened, thank you very much to SDVM Games, and apparently there were also some appropriately night-themed cocktails that I didn't get to try because I'm silly and I was doing silly things, but again, Steve tried, so...
They were all named after the Avengers.
Was it Iron Man that you drank?
They were lovely. I think it was an Iron Man, which was a cocktail that had an upside down bottle of beer. Oh no, that's a lie. That was Hawkeye, I think. The Iron Man was the one in the bottle of Coke. That was a Long Island cocktail, but in a bottle of Coke.
Okay.
It was that Iron Man one was really nice.
They do bloody good cocktails at Loading.
It had an air of class, which I would compare to good old Tony Stark.
Loading Bar are pretty nice as well. So some of their cocktail recipes are on their website. I don't know if any of those are on there, but if you check out, if you just search Loading Bar on Google or go to their Twitter, there'll be a link to their website there. And a lot of their cocktail recipes from old and current are on there. So you can try them at home if you are not from London or don't live anywhere near London so you can't visit. Because everyone needs a good cocktail now and again. And they are especially tasty.
Do you have a favourite, Lauren?
A couple of my favourites aren't currently on the menu, but if you ask them nicely, Lucy and Jimmy will make them for you. So Sugar and Splice, I absolutely love. Which, of course, is from BioShock. And then there's Earthworm Gin.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious, and it's made with tea. Tea and gin. So British and good.
It's a kind of villainous drink, no?
Kind of, but it's based on a worm.
Then that's all good.
Yeah, I do. I like the game. I like the drink. It's all good to me. What about you? What are your favourites? Let's go, Alex.
I did like Earthworm Gin, And I did like Kick to the Kirby when I think it's off the menu again. But again, they make it very nice. And it's a very nice pink girly cocktail. Which I don't usually go for girly pink cocktails. That's usually Tim. But I like Kick to the Kirby.
What about you, Steve?
I think my favourite recently has been Deus Ex on the Beach.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's got a bit of cinnamon, some peach liqueur, bit of soda water to knock it all back. I can't remember exactly the exact list of ingredients, but it is so lovely. And it comes in a sort of lopsided glass, which always looks cool.
The one I really didn't enjoy recently, Destiny. I'm not a fan of the Destiny. And, is it No Man's Pie?
Oh, yeah. I think, yeah.
What, is that the one with the egg white on top?
Yeah,
like the
it's
meringue?
like egg white kind of cream kind of foamy thing at the top.
Yeah, I had that once and it just did not sit well with me. It's nice, it just didn't suit my delicate stomach.
I think the most dangerous one that I had from loading would have been back in my birthday, and there was a limited time shot they had on the go called, I think it's the Golden Chocobo, which references Final Fantasy, and it was a shot of spiced rum infused with fried chicken.
That
wait,
sounds
actual
delicious.
It was
chicken?
Yeah, fried chicken. So I think they had a bottle of rum, chucked some fried chicken inside the bottle and let it diffuse. It's as awful as it sounds. But
I was left speechless.
The lovely Dave dared me to do it, so had to be done.
The way I would do it is like you'd have this shot of spiced rum with like some extra like spices in it, and then just have like a chicken scratching on the top.
Oh.
Have you seen chicken scratchings?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like KFC chicken scratching on the top, and just
so
you neck that, and then you eat the chicken skin. It's like that sounds pretty good to me. I tell you, not in loading, but I tell you a disgusting shot I had a while ago. Kind of like a shot chaser thing.
Go for it.
You know, like Jaeger bombs. Had a glitter bomb, which was Goldschlager and Red Bull.
Oh, I could probably one up you one in Scotland.
Go on.
There's a nightclub, I think it was a rock-based nightclub called Studio 24, and they did something called the Bucky Bomb.
Okay.
Which was a shot of Jägermeister inside a glass of Buckfast.
Duckfat.
Buckfast.
What's Duckfast?
Buckfast. You know the tonic wine that Glaswegian Neds love to drink?
No.
Made by monks in a English
Monkery.
cathedral. Yeah. In a monkery.
No,
it's
never
awful.
heard of that.
Don't drink it.
It sounds disgusting.
Don't drink it.
I was going to talk about Hat of a Boyfriend here, but I just thought I've only played one storyline, and speaking to one of our acquaintances, Julia, who we tend to shout out every week, I need to play a lot more of it because apparently there's quite a gripping storyline, which at this moment I don't have a great opinion of the game, but I'm going to give it more of a chance. If you have any comments about this game or any tips so I can play it better and not die, because my first playthrough I died. Some hawks killed me. I don't know what the hell
You're
happened.
in a high school. How can
That's why I
pigeons kill
kept
you?
hearing about it.
I don't know what happened. I thought I was building relationships with these random frickin' birds, but then all of a sudden, these hawks turned up and go, she has not been building enough relationships with the birds. And I've already been through this epic thing of there was a biker gang who followed all the rules, and one of them left, and there was a fight, and then I worked in a cafe, and then hawks killed me. So I think I should play a bit more, and then next show I'll be able to talk about it fully. But if you have played it, comment on the forum, tweet at me, whatever, and help me out so I don't die and I actually give this game a decent enough chance, because at the moment I'm just thinking it's this weird pigeon thing.
Tell her which pigeon she should
And
hit
you
on.
make fun of me for romancing elves and aliens while you going on with some very strange pigeon adventures.
I did not buy this game. I came home from work and found it on the PS4. I think I tweeted about it last week. Yeah. I came home and Coleman had bought it cheaply on, I think it's like is it the Summer of Digital or something on PS4? Some shit. And it's like, why is Hat of a Boyfriend on here? Okay, right. So I guess I have to try and play it now. But then I started playing Schrodinger's Cat and the Raiders of the Lost Quark to balance
How have you found that?
It's really good. I've only played a little bit more than I did at Eject Res, so I'm just getting into the actual zoo. But again, I haven't played enough of it that I want to talk about it yet. I know it's really cute, but I won't get into cuteness this episode. But there's lots of physics. It's really, you really have to think about it. Your combination of the quarks, up, down, left, right, all that crap. So I really want to give it a few more hours gameplay, actually get into the zoo and see the big baddies, and then we'll have a chat about it next episode. But again, if anyone has hints and tips about that game or wants to ask any questions while I'm playing it, I may stream some this week because I'm off now and I got a bit of time. Shut up. So I will tweet out if I'm streaming it. Okie doke. Right.
And I will cry while at work. That's okay, that's
we all
okay.
gotta
You have
work.
to deal with kids. You have to deal with kids, it's worse.
I've earned this. Okay. We do have a couple more video games to talk about. They are suggestion from our lovely Steve, and admittedly, I've only had a small experience with both these kind of games. So, Steve, do you want to start with Final Fantasy XIV, Heaven's Sword?
Oh, where to begin?
All I saw in the agenda was dragons everywhere, so I guess Alex would be happy discussing this.
Exactly why I picked it out as a topic. Because dragons. So Final Fantasy XIV is the second MMO in the Final Fantasy series. There was 11. It was nice and massive and complicated in a way.
You know 14, have they been building up to this over a number of years? Because I vaguely remember a few years ago, one of my friends having like a beta key or something. I want to say it was 14, but am I just talking
You're probably right. 14 came out years ago. Like, it came out whilst I was still at uni. It originally came out, it was a bit and Square Enix recognized that it was and they killed the servers off for a while to basically remake the game from scratch. They had this massive in-game event where they basically dropped a massive meteor on top of the world and killed everyone in the server. And then, right, that's it. Servers are turned off. Let's go make the next expansion in a way, which is called A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
And that propelled its popularity. Like,
so did everyone lose their characters, like everything they had?
I don't think so. I don't know the answer to that one, but I'm inclined to think that they were starting from scratch.
Because I would be a bit pissed, because if you put a lot of time into the game, grinding your character, getting your equipment, mounts, whatever, because I'm assuming it's a similar mechanic to other MMOs, I would be super pissed if they just dropped a meteor one day and said, no, f*** you. I know it's not a f*** you, but it's like, no, we're scratching this, rebuilding it, everyone start from scratch again. I would be a bit pissed.
Well, it kind of works out in terms of the story, because no one, to an extent, has a memory of what happened before the meteor dropped on it, and the whole story is written around the fact that everyone's rebuilding after the meteor dropped. So that's been on the go. I think A Realm Reborn has been out for a couple of years, and now they've recently released, about a month ago, the next expansion called Heaven's Ward, which is in a region of the realm of Eorzea called Ishgard, who are in a massive war against dragons. So it's basically elves versus dragons in a massive 1,000-year-long war they've been going on for ages.
What's up with it always being elves against dragons, or elves with dragons, or some kind of elf-dragon combination?
And how does this fit into the world of Final Fantasy? Because the way I think of Final Fantasy, I wouldn't think of elves and dragons. I think of, like, chocobos and and moguls.
Mm-hmm. Well,
or moogles. Am I saying that right?
Well, moogles. They're all still there,
Moogles.
thankfully.
Okay.
Dragons have been adversaries and monsters in the Final Fantasy franchise for quite some time. In fact, one of the recurring summon monsters in Final Fantasy is a dragon.
Oh, the behemoth. Or is it Bahamut?
Bahamut.
Oh, Bahamut. Sorry.
Usually a summon monster. Sometimes you might fight against him, but he usually appears in most Final Fantasy games as a super massive dragon that will deal massive damage to anyone in front of it. In a matter of fact, that meteor that I mentioned that killed off the servers housed Bahamut inside of it, and it destroyed the world.
Right. So they're bringing dragons more into the real world rather than just summons now. Pretty
much, yes. So there are dragons that are a little bit miffed with certain things that have happened in their history. I mean, in the realm of Final Fantasy XIV, dragons live for thousands of years. So the memory of a elf's or a human's lifetime is a penny drop compared to the lifespan of a dragon. So what may have been 1,000 years ago in myth and legend to the elves may have only happened yesterday to some of the dragons from their perspective.
So where did the elves come from?
The elves were part of mainland of the main realm. So you have different races. You've got like elves. You've got who are called Elezen. You also have the Roy Gadian, which are like orcs. Then you have Lalafels, which are like little like hobbits in a way.
Yeah.
Always very cute, but they seem to be the ones that always cause the trouble. They're always scheming.
damn elves.
Oh, yes. And then you have your usual humans, and then there's a couple of crossbreeds, like there's the Mikote, which are human cats, and a new one is the Aura, which are human lizards.
Lizard men. Oh my
Lizard
god.
men. Lizard
They're
men.
everywhere.
So yep, as your own character, you are going out into this new realm of Ishgard. You are going out to save the world, in a way, as the Warrior of Light. There's massive new areas to explore, and I've already been spending hundreds of hours in it. It's amazing.
So is it free to play? Is it monthly subscription? What is it?
It is one of the few games that still have a subscription model. So you pay about £8 a month for access. So it's not too dissimilar to World of Warcraft in that regard. But I think between that, World of Warcraft, and I think EVE Online, they're one of the few that they're the only ones that do a subscription model. Everyone else has gone free to play now. I think like Elder Scrolls Online, for example, went free to play quite recently.
Yeah.
But in a way, it kind of shows because they've been doing regular patch updates to it. They've been even though they had the expansions as key milestones, they've been adding more and more content over the course of the game's release. There's been like maybe well over a dozen patches that have added new dungeons, new raids. So they're always adding new things in. I think that shows in the subscription fee.
Okay, that's fair enough. As long as they keep up to date and not keep it making it stagnant and it's just the same thing over and over again, you're just paying for nothing,
yeah, no,
pretty much.
that would get far too boring.
So you recommend it?
If you like Final Fantasy, definitely yes. The amount of fan service that is in the game, like references to, we mentioned Chocobos and Moogles earlier on, but there are references to Final Fantasy games across the spectrum. Like there are some bosses from Final Fantasy IV. To name one, for example, there's references to games like 6 and 7. One new thing they added was the Gold Saucer from Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
So, well, they call it differently in 14, but it's a direct reference to the Gold Saucer in 7, which is a massive theme park. We can go around and race Chocobos. You could play some arcade games. You can play card games, which are Triple Triad from Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I think Triple Triad is what Lords of War is very loosely based. You know, the card game that you really like.
I love Lords of War.
Yeah, I think it is actually, yeah.
I think it's very loosely based on that. Well, returning briefly to Final Fantasy XIV and all that kind of stuff. So, for example, say me, a person who's been eyeing and owing about playing an MMO and never played any Final Fantasy game before, you wouldn't suggest me starting this as my first MMO. Would that be true?
I would argue that it could be. For the reason being that there is actually a proper story to go through. I think Elder Scrolls Online does that quite well as well. But what I didn't like about World of Warcraft when I tried it, well, I think at one point Blizzard, because I have Diablo and StarCraft, they were like, oh, here you go, have 2 weeks free of World of Warcraft. Go crazy. I'm like, okay, let's give it a shot. Warped in, created a character. Okay, welcome to World of Warcraft. Go kill 5 goats. Thank you very much, sir. Go kill 5 sheep. Thank you very much, sir. Go kill 5 dogs. No story, no nothing.
Yeah, I felt that. My first MMO was, well, I tried Warcraft first, and I've mentioned my story on the show before. Wasn't quite for me. And then I got into Old Republic, and that had a very clear story. You can romance people, Alex, so that's for you. You can even romance a Wookiee.
This is the thing. Yay. I really want to
romance a Wookiee.
Was really considering actually starting SWTOR at some point, and then I got distracted by Witcher.
Wasn't Tim Coleman going to have a go of Old Republic?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I'm up for it if someone is actually going to start playing it and going with someone, because I actually have no idea what I'm going to do it. But it's BioWare, so I'm probably going to like it, because
I've still got my character. I'll just transfer her onto one of the servers, so I'll be a bit higher than you, but I can show you the ropes. I've got some lower level characters, but at the moment, because I started when there was a subscription fee, I did have 3 characters, but when they went free to play, you have to buy an extra character slot, or like you can still pay a subscription, but you don't have to, if you know what I mean. You get more perks. So I currently have 2 characters. I've got my main rogue, which is pretty much my version of Han Solo. And then I've got, did I keep my Twi'lek or my Sith? I think I kept my Twi'lek Jedi, because she wasn't too bad. And then, yeah, Twi'lek Jedi, and then I had this blind, I can't remember what race it was. It's just like a blind human.
I think like one of the cool things that I found with Final Fantasy XIV was that I think you mentioned you had a character that was a rogue and one was that was a Sith or something like that. So you were locked to that one class. Is that right?
Yeah. So there was a rogue, but you could like go into different factions. So my rogue was a bit more of a Healy rogue, but I could still shoot the shit out of people. but it was still pretty much rogue. I still had guns, I still meleeed sometimes, and I had shields, and I could chuck bombs and little droids to go do my bidding.
Ah, it's good. Because with Final Fantasy XIV, you can pretty much play anything and everything. So you have your one character, but you can switch back and forth between classes at will.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
if you go, I fancy being a black mage and firing all sorts of fire spells at that beastie. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, happy days. But then if amongst your friends you're doing a dungeon and you need someone to heal up, and you can go, okay, I'll switch to my healer class and let's go have some fun.
Do you get like skill points and then you just assign it to the different classes, so you're like different strengths in each class?
They're kept within each class, so you level each class individually.
Yeah, so if I'm playing the healer today, I'll earn a bunch of XP and I can only put that into the healing class, but then tomorrow I might go, oh, I want to be mage, go into that and then earn up those.
Correct.
So I could be like level 1 in 3 of the classes, level 10 in one, and level 6 in another.
Correct.
Oh, that's cool.
So with the expansion, they added 3 new ones, 3 new classes. One was called the Machinist, which is one with guns.
Oh, yeah.
You can shoot things and create a little turret that can go and help you out. There's the Dark Knight, which swings around a massive sword. He's like a tanky class.
That sounds awesome.
And then you have the Astrologian, which is a funny word. It's a healer class, but he or she draws cards that can add stat boosts to your party.
Nice.
They all have fabulous gear. Dark Knight's got a massive sword. You're talking like Clyde Bowers.
Now, whenever I used to play like Pathfinder, I used to be like a barbarian fighter with a great sword, like a 2-handed great sword. I just like being able to beat the shit out of things. Same with Diablo. It's either great sword or 2 axes.
I always like being from a distance. I always prefer being a mage or a bow person and shoot people and be sneaky.
I like
You want to be a black mage.
Actually, less sneaky, more of let's run away now before they kill you.
As long as you're from a safe distance, that's fine. You don't want to get squished by a big, massive beastie's foot.
Yeah.
That's never good.
Which is why I'm having so many problems with Witcher, because I have to fight with swords. And me and swords don't do well together. I want to shooty things from a distance. So big, angry, scary things don't come near me.
Bless.
Have to switch to Bloodborne and use the guns there, I guess.
Well, you don't really use the guns much in Bloodborne, do you? It's usually just to, like, stun them while they're trying to attack you, and then you stab them, or you try and rip their nuts out.
No idea. I'll have to go and ask Dave, because he's been doing his charity playthrough on that.
Oh, okay. Well, Coleman was playing it, but I've been watching, like, Matt Lee's playthrough, and Game Grumps recently finished their playthroughs from it. I can't play it myself, because I will actually rage and break shit. So I've been watching other people rage and break shit, so that's quite nice. Well, actually, Matt Lee's quite chill when he's playing it, which is quite surprising. I do not do well with those games. Speaking of other games, which this is slightly annoying that Monica's not here for this one, because I think she loves these games. Persona 4.
Oh, that has been like, whenever I've not been playing Final Fantasy XIV, that has been that's been taking up so much of my time recently. I will have to thank Dan Cito from Square Enix for convincing me at some point to eventually play it. But now that I have played it, oh my god, it's so brilliant. So for those who don't know, Persona 4 rather, is a Japanese RPG where you are a high schooler in a small little village, and you're almost kind of doing, if you know old novels, almost like the famous 5 or the Secret 7, going out and solving a big mystery.
Oh, yeah.
And that mystery happens to be people being mysteriously dying after appearing on a spooky TV channel late at night. But it's all the art style and the is very colorful. The music is amazing. It's kind of got a sort of like modern, kind of early 2000-y poppy kind of feel to it. And funnily enough, Persona has been like the biggest learning tool for me in Japanese culture.
Oh yeah.
Of what day-to-day life in Japan is like. You get a very good sort of view of what it's like in there by playing Persona.
Is that because you're going to Tokyo soon?
It's good. Well, you're in a tiny little Japanese village, but yes, because I'm going to Tokyo very soon.
You
Love you too.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
So it's kind of split into 2 key parts. So in one part you are doing day-to-day life. You're going to class. You're learning stuff. You're meeting friends. and building social links. That's actually what leads on from your chat about Hatoful Boyfriend earlier on. Building those social links is crucial in Persona. If you don't do that, then you can't create these personas, which are your summon monsters equivalent in Persona.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you basically collect them like cards in game, and you can fuse them together to make stronger ones. And if you have a social link of that matches the type of that persona, you get an XP boost for that persona. Cool. So the more you talk to people, the more you get to know them, the better your persona can be, the stronger you'll be. And those social links can, of course, build into romances, so you can hit on other people in the school if you ever wish.
Nice.
I went for a lassie called Yukiko, but from what I hear, there's a lot of other people that people seem to gravitate more. I think if I mention Chie, some people might get very excited.
I have no idea.
We're excited.
Woo! Woo! Cheer for Chie.
I've only played Persona Q, and that was for about 10 minutes while a child kicked me in the spine during MCM last September. So I don't have a good view on it, but people keep telling me to play it.
I recommend it. 4 is very good. Q follows on from 4.
Oh, okay.
So
I had no freaking clue what was going on at all.
Q takes the characters from 3 and the characters from 4 and puts them together. But I think you can have you can choose different storylines that focus on one or the other. So if you were more of a fan of 4, you can follow it from their point of view. But like Persona it's massive. Like Persona 4 has got its own anime series, and they made a remake for the Vita, which is what I played on. And more recently, there's a music sim called Persona 4 Dancing All Night.
There's a music sim for everything.
Pretty much, yeah. It's so the story behind that is your same investigative team are coming back together for summer holiday, and one of their friends has been kidnapped, and they're in a alternate world. But the rule in this world is you can't fight them. Normally, you defeat them by dancing.
This is the world I want to live in.
Yes.
Throw some shapes. You are dead, son.
And it's like it plays exactly like your usual rhythm games. You hit the up button at the right time with a triangle button and things like that. And they're all in amazing costumes. They're looking great. It's all remixes of music from the original Persona 4 soundtrack.
Okay.
It's already out in Japan. It's coming out in I think September in North America and Europe for the PlayStation Vita.
Cool. So I'll get that for Coleman then. He can play it on the tube.
So are you going to go sneakily to Japan and get it before we get it here?
I'll need to find out if all the text is in English, and I'm not sure if it's been localized.
It'll be much more of a surprise if you get it in Japanese, though.
But I won't know what they're
skills
saying.
you learn.
But then you'll get to learn Japanese, and then you can go to Japan again. It all makes perfect sense, okay?
Have you tried reading Japanese?
Yeah, I did. I did Japanese for like a year.
Oh! How'd that go?
Kanji happened, and then my brain just exploded.
Just that scares me about it. If I read the kana, the hiragana and katakana, then that'd be fine by me. But that kanji, just no. Yeah,
they're quite easy and fast to learn. As long as you bother to learn them, it's quite fast to start reading in them. But as soon as the kanji walks into equation, it's like, what?
No. I'm contenting myself with learning the kana for going away to Japan, and I'll just sort of tactically ignore the kanji.
I don't know how that's going to work.
It'll work for signage, I think. Usually in big signs, they write the kana on top of the kanji.
You can get apps to translate, you know.
Yeah, or Google Translate.
You can just get an app that if you, like, it's you point your camera at a sign or, like, a bit of text and it'll translate it.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
But how good will it translate?
It's pretty good. It doesn't do it for handwriting because I used it in work for some of the kids' work because some of my kids don't speak very good English. So if I give them a question, I might get them to do it in their own tongue and then translate it. So it does work sometimes, but yeah, it's better with text rather than handwriting. And I think it doesn't have a lot of different, languages. That's the word. You can tell it's summer holidays. My brain's got to yeah, so it hasn't got a lot of languages, but I think it's got some Japanese. I know it's got like a lot of European languages and like Spanish and stuff.
Oh, I'll have to go and see if there's a Japanese equivalent.
Yeah. Worth checking out anyway.
There must be. There's so much tech in Japan. They must have something
There must be. They're tech central there.
Yeah.
They have super fast internet and everything. I'm so jealous.
Speaking of something that's not quite tech central, because it is made of paper, Alec has a book Alex has a book she wants to talk about.
Yeah, I do want to talk about it because this is the first book that I have reviewed.
Yay!
And it's a new scary world because I have never reviewed books before. Hopefully it's going to be out by the time this episode is out because it's not just out at the time of the recording. But it's called Solar Versia. And it's a debut novel by Toby Downton. And it is slightly related to games because it is about a virtual reality game set in 2020.
Ooh.
So, if you guys remember Ready Player One. Yeah, you remember Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very excited for the sequel.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the movie.
No, I really enjoyed the book and I really want them to expand on the sequel like I said before. But that's not the book we're talking about now, we're talking about your book.
Yeah, Solar Versia, so if you say Ready Player One was way back in the future, so Solar Versia is more near to the future. And, the part of the story is that there is a game company called Spiralworks who designed a game that is supposed to last a year, and it's all in the world that they created. So it's basically a big MMO, but you immerse yourself there using a VR so you can do all the fancy stuff and run around and battle and everything. And actually, there's a lot, when I started reading about it and just reading the main description, there's a lot of things about it that I was like, oh, that's actually really exciting, because there were some things that, for example, Ready Player One didn't cover for me. It's like, what happens to your normal life once you start putting your magical goggles in and transforming yourself to this world, which is basically almost like the best place on earth, because that's what you want to do all day, is play games in that world and live in that world. So what happens to your real life?
They did go through that a bit in Ready Player One, because they said that he was a chubby, pale, kind of gross guy, and he locked himself out, and when he started like becoming a full-time grunter, he got himself his own like little place. It was pretty much a studio apartment with a chair, and the chair hooked up to all his junk, and he never left that chair. He had his food delivered, he had shopping delivered, he didn't even look in the mirror. It's like, they completely shut out from everything.
The thing about Ready Player One is that it seems that the future and virtual reality progressed in so much that almost every single person lived there. Like, they went to school there, they did all entertainment there, people worked there, they just play and complete quests. Their life was in this virtual reality world. Yeah. So in Solar Versia, it's different because it's actually a game. They don't live in there yet. What they do is solve puzzles and compete with each other and do racing tracks and complete challenges. So it's more of a game. It's not yet a state of mind where
so it's like
you do
the
everything.
Step before.
Yeah, it's a step before, which I was actually really interested to find out about.
That's pretty cool.
Sorry, have you heard of an anime called Sword Art Online?
No.
Heard of it.
Sounds exactly like Solar Versia, where you have a VR MMO and you are immersed in it. And the one interesting one that's different from that is that you had about 10,000 people play it, but the quirk was the boss of the game rigged it so that you couldn't escape, you couldn't log out, and when you died in the game, you died in real life.
Ouch.
And you could only escape if you cleared the game.
Oh, wow.
So people were forced to live there for about a good 2 years, plodding through the game, until they could actually clear it. It sounds like a similar line to
what is it called again?
It's called Sword Art Online.
Sword Online, wow.
Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online.
I think that's on Hulu at the minute.
It's on Hulu. It's on Crunchyroll.
Oh, it's on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, so you can check it out on that.
Oh, interesting.
It's really good. It's a good romance story in it, so you probably like it.
So yeah, back to Solar Versia. So the main character, her name is Nova, and she is 18-year-old player who is competing in this game. There is also a parallel story from actually the studio of the guys that have designed the game, and there is also the mysterious Holy Order, which believe that there's gonna come this cyborg computer god called Magi. And it's whole intertwined with each other in the storyline. And as I said, it started really, really well. And like, there's a lot of things that I was interested in. And I'm not gonna spoil much of it, just in case people do get to read it, but one of the topics that I actually really like to enjoy, and it's a bit grim, so sorry for bringing that grim topic up, but what happens to, like, your persona online once you actually die. So there's some like little notes and storylines that happen to that and how that affects, their relationships and everything like this. But then it kind of, you can see it's the first novel, because I think the pacing is a bit all over the place. B, it's just not very interesting.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just never found the world interesting at all. Like, they have all this lore and all the stories, but I'm really sorry to say, but it's very, very cliche, all of it. And then they even have a story, the love story, that going on between the Nova and this other guy. And it's like one cliche stumbling over another cliche and hitting another cliche in the back. Because it's like this super hot guy that she just randomly saw by stumbling in some classroom. And then she decides to stay in that classroom because, oh hey, there's a hot guy. Why not? And then the hot guy turns out to have this perfect hot girlfriend. And Nova and that perfect hot girlfriend immediately get in a fight with each other for no reason whatsoever.
Plot progression!
I know, right? And then he breaks up with his hot girlfriend because apparently she's a bitch. But he doesn't want to get together with Nova because Nova lied to him to make herself look more interesting. And it's like, I avoid those romantic movies on purpose. I don't want to read about it too. Yeah, but even that, and I also had a lot of trouble with the names in the books. I think he really, this is another thing, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep complaining to Ready Player One because I haven't really read any books that explored virtual gaming as much as these two are. And I think in Ready Player One, there was a lot of references to 80s and a lot of, geeky names and actual names. So I guess in Solar Versia, they couldn't use the proper names for things. So he thought of the names that sound similar to what it would be in the gaming world. And some of them are kind of arcane, kind of getting the point across. So for example, there is Crazy Karting, and Crazy Karting is spelled with 2 Ks. So I think that's kind of a little bit gamey kind of name.
Yeah.
But then there is a main hub world that's called Castalia, which is it's basically castle, then you botched up whatever was at the end of that word.
Yeah.
And then there is, wait for it, Princess Zebelda.
Wow.
Just so long as there's no one called YOLO McSwaggins XXXXX, then I'm fine.
L'Oreal.
But it's also he really, I think he really tried to be it's one of those, when he uses a word that we use in gaming or whatever. I'm gonna use the example of LOL just because it's the first one comes up to my head and it's the easier one. And he just uses it in the sentence, and then 2 sentences later he's actually explained, LOL in this world means laugh out loud. And I'm like,
dear, oh dear.
It's as if your grandma is using LOL. And I kind of feel bad for saying all those things because I know it's the guy's first novel, and as I said in my review, there's a lot of things that are really, really, really great in that book, a lot of ideas that I got really excited to read about it, but as soon as you get to nitty-gritty details and the storylines and the descriptions, you kind of, I don't know, it was kind of harder for me to keep up.
So it kind of sounds like a book that's about games, but it's not for gamers. Can I agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. Strangely enough, I'm not sure if the author himself is a gamer. He doesn't. I haven't really found anything about that yet. But it does sound like if it was oriented towards gaming audience, a lot of those things you just wouldn't have to explain.
It'd just trigger a facepalm, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and it literally did.
Very strange.
I know, but I do have to say, I'm quite glad that there's now books coming out that are sort of about gaming and VR and what might happen with VR in the future, because even though my experiences with VR so far was a lot of near vomiting,
yeah.
I'm kind of excited about where it's going to go in, say, 5 or 10 years. I think it could be great.
Imagine VR horror games in 5 to 10 years' time.
Yeah, I won't be playing that.
Like PT in VR. Oh, yes, please.
No. I played a freaky, it's the way I'm going to describe it, it's not going to sound freaky, but when you play it, it is freaky. It's called Teddy Bear Picnic.
Okay.
I'm scared.
Okay, so you have to stand up for this game when you're playing it, and you have these headset on, and you hold the mouse kind of like a gun. So you holding it in your hand slightly sideways with your index finger on the left mouse button as a trigger type thing. And you are a kid who sent their teddy away to Teddy Bear's Picnic. Nice time. Waiting at your house. He doesn't come back. So you go out into the woods to try and find him, and you found him ripped to shreds.
Oh,
Then you are in forests they sometimes have those like watchtowers.
Okay.
So you're standing in quite a low level one of those, and all these kind of zombie teddy bears start coming at you, trying to attack you. And they're all different sizes. So you have huge ones, you have little ones, you have diddy ones, medium ones, and they all are trying to get into your little kind of standing viewing platform thing to kill you. And you are trying to avenge your teddy's death. So you have to literally just like swivel back and forth, like turn, like just try and describe it. It's like you're standing still, but you have to kind of flip your body back and forth to try and see if there's any teddies behind you, teddies in front of you, and just keep clicking and shooting them to make sure they don't kill you.
Is it kind of like how you switch between rooms in Five Nights at Freddy's?
Oh, which one?
Any of them.
Yeah, you just stand in one place and you're just swiveling.
Yeah, it's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's in that regard, because you're switching between the camera feeds or rooms and things to try and catch out the folks that are trying to come at you.
Yeah, but the issue with this is the teddy bears are constant. They keep coming at you from all these different directions, and you just have to keep turning and turning and turning to try and find them all and kill them before they get to you.
Oh.
What did you play it on?
I played it on PC on VR headset, Oculus Rift, about, a year and a few months ago now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is one of like the first Oculus Rift games. It was about, Don't Let Go?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about the same time that came out.
I freaked out a family friend of mine using Don't Let Go.
Please do tell.
So this was last Christmas. I decided to bring along my Oculus headset back home because they hadn't heard of it, and it sounded fascinating to them. So I thought I'd bring it along and set it up. Now, my parents' friend, this guy called Jerry, he absolutely hates spiders with a passion. He hates spiders. So what did I do to show off VR? I booted up Don't Let Go. And there's this one particular part where a spider decides to crawl up your arm, go behind your head, crunch behind your ear, and make its way past your head down your other arm. And I swear to God, his face was beet red. He was his leg was stamping the ground repetitively. He was shaking. He was going red. He was screaming, no. Just every kind of expletive. But he managed to survive. Luckily enough, he kept his fingers on the two keys on the keyboard. He did all right, but he was not well after that.
Oh, poor guy.
I did worse to my mom.
What did you do?
She doesn't like heights.
Okay.
So I put her in a roller coaster ride.
Oh, is that the one with the gold ball following you?
It was one that I used was in a mine. So the useful one for my mom was that she could control the speed of the cart. So you could lean forward to go faster, lean back to slow down. Until there are certain points when there's a steep slope and you were taken out of control. But when that happened, she screamed really loudly.
I did a roller coaster one where it was inside like a building that kind of looked Tomb Raidery, and then a gold ball like in Indiana Jones started following me. That was weird. I couldn't control anything though. So yours sounds better.
It was good. Like it had the desired effect. She was grabbing onto my arm for dear life, bless her. But we were all laughing about it afterwards, even if they were in abject terror during it. It was great fun, even if I'm a bit mean.
I know, it's just like, hi, parents, relatives, and loved ones. I'm gonna show you this great technology. It's called VR. I'm gonna put it on your heads and boot up your worst nightmares. How
Enjoy.
would you like that?
I made up for it by showing them some nice things, like going around a farm your barn or things like that, to kind of even out that. But you had to have that moment to make them
After they
their
themselves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta show them the full scale of it. The first like real scary game I went on it was at Rezzed, and I went on the Roto VR. Try that out.
Is that for Alien Isolation?
Yes.
Ah.
I didn't even bother trying that.
Oh god.
Alien Isolation scares me on a normal day on a normal screen.
Well, I figured, right, I best actually play this since we know someone who helped make it. So it'd kind of be polite, even though I don't like those games. But I started playing it and I was getting so freaked out at one point, and I was getting a bit spun out by trying to use the chair, because it's an odd chair, very odd chair.
It spins on the spot.
Yeah, but you turn it with your feet, and you have to turn it quite a lot, and then when you do that, it like jerks you to whatever direction. It's not as smooth or as subtle as it could be.
It was a prototype, I guess, but...
Yeah, it was an early one. So it's probably better now. It was on Kickstarter at the time. So, I was getting a bit spun out by that, and then at one point I was getting so freaked out by, where is it? Like, Five Nights at Freddy with it. I saw it, and I ended up just following. It was like, just kill me. Just do it. Just kill me now. Just get it over with, so I can get off this thing and leave.
I think when I had it going, that didn't last very long. I think I was walking along, can you please? All of a sudden, massive tail through my front body. I was like, oh, okay.
Hello.
I guess I'm dead now.
There was the alien.
So, Five Nights at Freddy. Have either of you played Five Nights at Freddy?
I played the
Any
first
of them?
one briefly. I've seen a few Let's Plays of the other ones. I saw there was the fourth one that came out quite recently.
It came out last Friday, I think it was. Friday or Saturday?
Ironically enough.
Yeah, so, Alex, have you played any?
Is it a horror game?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
No.
Lots of jump scares. There's a lot of YouTubers
Nope.
playing it. The main one that's known for playing it is Markiplier, and he's just completed today the first 5 nights of the story. And this was dropped on a lot of people without much notice. But this one is meant to come to the end of the story, but it's not fully finished yet because there's going to be some DLC in October.
Ooh.
Yeah. Are you intrigued by the story at all?
It makes sense if there are 5 games.
Yeah,
Five
that
Nights
would
at
make
Freddy's
sense.
5 would be a good place to end it, I think.
I suppose so. But are you intrigued by the story at all?
So I've kept an eye on it here and there, but the problem is that when you actually get to play in the game, because the jump scares are samey,
Yeah.
their effect wears off quickly. So when you get to there, it's like, okay, just get it over with. Come on.
Well, with
Get
this
to the next
newest one, they've changed it up a bit.
bit. Have they?
Yeah, so there's some new mechanics. So there's, after you finish each night, you get the 8-bit little sequences where you don't do much in, but you can play a little mini game where the first time you play the next night before you die, you can have a 2-hour jump start.
Oh.
So you're pretty much playing red light, green light with a little plush version of Springtrap from the third game. And if you catch him on like an X using your flashlight before he gets to you, you get a 2-hour head start. But that only lasts for your first go. If you die within that first go, you lose that head start. There's also some brand new mechanics because you are playing as a child this time, and you have 2 doors which you can check. You can shine a light down the hallway and you can shut those doors when you're there if you hear anything. You've also got a closet which things can get into, and you have to check it and shut those doors just in case. And there's also, you have to check behind you to see if these little kind of nightmare Teddy Freddys turn up. Because if there's lots of them, you blink a lot and you start like freaking out. There's no cameras. You just have to listen out a lot. There's no phone guy. It's pretty new in mechanics. You have to run from door to door to check everything and listen out for breathing to see if there's anything coming towards
This
you.
sounds like my worst nightmare.
Oh yeah, it's freaky as hell. I will never play it myself. The first time I watched Five Nights at Freddy 1, I couldn't sleep. Freaked me out. I think I told the story. I went to loo one night and it was about 1 a.m. after watching it and it was pitch black. Coleman stood outside the door. He didn't even jump scare. He just stood outside the door making a creepy face. I opened the door, saw him, screamed, started crying.
Did he say hi?
No, he didn't even do that. He just stood outside the door.
Oh.
Freaked the out of me. I am not good with anything like that. But now I'm used to kind of watching the Let's Plays and you can kind of, you know the tells now. That like, oh yeah, it's coming. Look away, look away. Once you see it. But the story's really, really intriguing because I've been watching like the game theorists reading up on it, and this one seems to be closing up the story quite interestingly. But there's still a fair few questions to be answered if you're interested in the story. So
Probably enough questions left to be answered at a final Five Nights at Freddy's 5, I imagine.
well, we'll see what happens in the DLC in October. I haven't seen the 6th or 7th night of Nightmare Mode yet. I've only seen the initial 5 nights of Five Nights at Freddy 4. Yeah.
All in good time.
All in good time. But isn't there meant to be a movie?
There is? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's meant to be a Five Nights at Freddy movie, but I don't know how that's going to work, because the whole thing is meant to be about the not knowing, the suspense, and the freaking out.
If it's a movie where you're just in the janitor's room looking at the cameras, it'll be extremely boring.
Yeah, if they're trying to do like a found footage type shit, like Paranormal Activity, I will not watch that. I don't like scary movies at the best time, but
I just
we'll
laugh
see.
at them.
Ugh.
Horror games, on the other hand, I can get freaked the out, but
Oi.
horror movies, I just burst out laughing at.
Oh, PT freaked
I wish I had your strength. I managed just to hide.
Well, what is to like restrain you down and make you play horror games until you build a tolerance?
Why if we do it
Seriously,
pissed one
this
night?
is how PT started, because we're playing Tim, Jimmy from Loading, and me, and the first instinct was to give a controller to me because, haha, she's gonna be scared and we're gonna watch. I lasted about 5 minutes, at which point I threw the controller at one of them and said, no, God, no. And then I hid behind the pillows where I spent most of that game.
Yeah, I did the same, to be honest.
There is a video of me somewhere on YouTube screaming up expletives from the ghost lassie coming at me.
GGS Gamer has a YouTube channel. You should check it out. There are lots of amusing videos. I saw one with Monster Hunter characters in London the other day.
That was a video that the lovely folks at Capcom sent us to upload. They had some cosplayers go out in London and do a little boogie around central London, and there are a lot of confused passers-by waving and taking selfies.
Because we were trying to figure out who was in the costumes.
I have no idea.
I thought you were the cat.
I wish I was the cat. that looks so fun to wear.
Okay, right. Alex, do you want to do your surprise?
Okay, so I have a surprise for listeners because
Ooh.
I think
Ooh.
Geek Speak is about to get its first competition. Yay!
Yay!
So you guys remember Dice Masters Age of Ultron that I talked about it? Just
I
at the
think I might remember
Are
something.
you sure?
I think so too.
And maybe there's a preview on BigRedBarrel.com that
There
people
is a
should
preview.
go and read if they want more details about this.
And on GGS Gamer.
And that is true.
Hint.
For Dice Masters for You can read Big Red Barrel. I wrote something about it, or you can read GGS Gamer because Steve wrote something
read
about
both.
it.
Read both and
read
get
both.
different opinions. Huzzah!
Get a full picture of this game because both of them play it. They played against each other, so
We both kicked each other's asses.
Yep.
Ish.
But what the wonderful folks at SDVM Games gave me is one set and 2 little HeroClix models, which I believe are Iron Man and Captain America, to give away to our lovely, lovely listeners.
Yes.
So I thought I'll make a little of a competition out of this. And I think I'm gonna get shouted about because I'm doing this wrong, but I'm gonna be very generous, and as this is our first competition, I say that as long as you have a postman delivering a post to your door, I will deliver this to you somehow. I may regret this. I may be in denial about the state of my bank account with my wedding coming.
I'll help you out with
But
that.
whatever.
Promise
doing
whoever
this.
wins this competition, you will get your shizzle.
Yes, we're not promising that if we're gonna have competitions in the future, we'll be able to send this everywhere around the world. But for this one, we're being super generous, and it's our first one, so excited. So I thought to make this nice and easy and exciting, to enter the competition, all you guys have to do is go on our forums at bigredbarrel.com, go to this episode thread, and write your favorite Marvel hero or villain. And maybe write why as well.
The most interesting answers will win. Please make sure that you tell us clearly why you like them. Most interesting or weird reasons are always appreciated.
I think weird normally works better.
Yeah, we do like weird. Weird is our thing.
Yeah.
We appreciate weird.
Yeah, and it's a really cool price, I think. There's lots of funky cards, the dice are really pretty, and the set has just come out, and they are super, super, super popular. So, as soon as they come out, they disappear off the shelves immediately because this game has the craziest fun base that I've actually ever seen any board game to have, where people hunt cards and sets and the starter sets. And this starter set is probably enough to have a very simple tryout game between 2 people. I think if you actually really like it, you might want to get booster packs and additional cards. And booster packs themselves are not very expensive. They're around £1.
From what I believe from this game, a lot of people, when they start playing it, they get addicted very quickly.
Yes.
And they amass a lot of dice. So
How
it's
many
a good
dice
game
does
to play.
Tim have?
Too many. I've actually, do you know what? Funny thing is, I have what is it called? The little time capsule app with the dinosaur. What is that? Is that what is it called?
Time Hop.
Time Hop.
Oh, yeah.
And my picture today is a stack of his extra Marvel Dice Master cards, which is about, I don't know, 15 centimeters thick?
So as big as a small ruler.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's how much extra cards he has. So yeah, sorry. So to recap, we're giving away a set and 2 little nice small figures. I'm gonna send them anywhere. Come on the forums, tell us your favorite hero or villain and why, and we will choose someone. I say, how many should we give you guys? 2 weeks or a week?
We will close the competition on the 8th of August.
Okay.
So that should give you plenty of time. So close the competition 8th of August. Make sure you put your comment on the post that this episode is on. If you want
episode 13.
Yeah. Episode 13, comment down below. If you want to tweet at us just to let us know, like, hey, I've entered. That'll be awesome too. Just to, like, make sure everyone knows Eva.
But don't worry, I'll keep an eye out. I stalk the forums and see all the things that people write and sometimes even reply and say stupid things.
The Baroness of Butts is watching.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, speaking of forums, Twitters, and all the socials, shall we do some shout-outs?
Yep.
Okay, and we also want you just to comment on the forums, not just for the competition. Give us some questions, give us some feedback. We love feedback. It's constructive, destructive, prefer constructive, obviously. But
destructive.
Destructive. Right.
Destroy the Geek Speak.
Yeah, so please do. So shout out this week to Spiky Chris for the forums. Alex, do you want to do Twitters?
Yeah, at WillDarva93 and at Yoshifed BRB. Yeah, we don't have that many because our other episode just came out, so we're recording quite soon after that, so.
Yes, unfortunately, I cannot record on our usual recording day this week, as I am going to a screening of Pixels.
Oh!
Good luck with that.
That's all I'm saying.
Enjoy.
We do have a new iTunes review this week from IICE89. It's 1 star, but all comments are welcome here. He didn't quite like us because we overused adorable and cute, which is a fair comment. I think it was on Until the Dolphins Start Talking, episode 11, because we did speak a lot about Yoshi's Woolly World, and I did squee about Tales from Borderlands. So we apologise that you didn't like it, but then again, you can't please everyone, and we hope that you'll try another episode, because usually we're all about the butts in this place.
To be fair, Yoshi's Woolly World is insanely cute.
I know, right?
I'm not gonna
what
lie.
other words can you use for it? Cute, adorable, woolly?
That is the only word you need.
Yeah.
It is cute, especially that amiibo.
It is. Okay, I'm not going to use that word.
I think it's good to know. I mean, I know some of you guys, we can't say anything positive, we're not going to say anything. I think it's good because we just hear ourselves talk, and we've been getting so far really great feedback, and we've been having, like, amazing conversations with listeners. But some constructive, a bit of a ways to tell us how we can improve, that'd be great too, because we are only 13 episodes in, and we have much to learn.
But if you do give us comments for improvement, try us again. Have another listen further on into the future. We might have taken them on board. We might have adjusted. You might like us then. Yeah? That's all right. Yep. Okay. Do you want to do the UK podcast directory?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think we might just be able to squeeze that in. So we are also on UK podcast directory, and it's probably by the time this podcast is released, there'll be not much time left. But if you like our podcast and if you want us to love you forever, you can go and nominate us. There is a button at the bottom of this post which you can click on and nominate us for that. You can also nominate our big brother, Bigger Barrel UK podcast as well. Yep.
Can we do Barrelcast?
I think so. I think they're allowed international nominations, but you have to specially nominate them.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
There's a slight hint there to nominate them.
Yeah.
Well, we're just being nice, but really we want you to nominate us, so them, us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All's fair in love and war.
Yeah. So click on that button down below. Give us a little nomination. We'd very much appreciate it. If you do, let us know so we can say thank you and give you a special shout out on our very show. If you do want to contact us, you can use @BigRedBarrel and use the hashtag GeekSpeak, or you can contact us using our personal Twitters. Get a bit more intimate. I am at the Sweet Shrimp.
I am at DustyTulip_.
Stephen, do you want to give yours, or do you want to stay anonymous?
And I am at Pilkey42.
Yeah, please feel free to abuse Stephen. We do a lot.
I will probably reply back with amusing gifs.
Yes, you have a collection.
Whenever I spot a new one, it just goes straight into a special GIF folder in my Google Drive.
Yeah,
Master library.
When we were loading a few weeks ago, there was a showing of a movie, and I think Pilky and I did just sit there for a little bit when we couldn't hear anything, just sending gifs at each other.
Lots of cats being derpy and puppies being derpy.
I only have one GIF in my collection, and that GIF, strangely enough, was gifted to me by Julia, and it's my favorite elf Solus, and he says, "We'll bang, okay?"
You and your bloody elves.
We'll bang, okay. Oh, that sounds like a reference to a Gamer Poop series, I think.
I don't know what
it's a parody series involving Mass Effect, and I think Skyrim as well. Dragon Age has probably not happened yet, but We'll bang okay is a reference to Shepard in that particular YouTube video, I believe.
It's a glorious gif, okay?
Oh, yes.
Okay, and on that note, I think for episode 13, we shall bid you all goodbye. Bye!
Bye! Chitty bye! Ciao for now.
What, sorry?
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
Oh, ciao for now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, bye, buds!
You and your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarrel.com
for more podcasts,
news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarrel.com.